Rock and Roll Geek Show 685.
Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA, online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original Rock and Roll Geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Monday, February 29th, 2016, and it's 8:54 p.m. I have been preparing this show for almost 2 hours. And what have I been doing to prepare the show? Other than typing in the donor list, I've been trying to get this stupid iTunes to work. So it's going to be a frazzled show, and I am taking a sip of my second Tecate of the day, and boy, do I need this beer right now. Let me take a sip of this fine Tecate. I finally got another computer on eBay. I got like a 2011 Mac Pro desktop computer for like several $100s on eBay, to replace the one that I got as a lovely parting gift from Mevio that was like a 2005. And it was just so old, and it was just run down. So the new computer's great. I love it. But all my iTunes was on an external hard drive. I hope you're with me on this, but if you're not, all my iTunes was on an external hard drive, so I have to open up iTunes. One of the problems I had with the old one was I couldn't use a newer version of iTunes, so I couldn't plug my phone in or do anything to it. So I got the new computer. New iTunes works great. So I turn on iTunes, hold down the option, and load up the iTunes library from my my 2 terabyte drive that's dedicated to nothing but iTunes. So I got that to work, and then I was having trouble putting new music into it all day today. I couldn't put any songs out. Drag it in, would not go in. So I'm looking online to figure out why I can't put it in, why I can't do this. So I close iTunes thinking it's going to work. Open back iTunes. iTunes doesn't open now. I'm just like freaking out. Don't know what. I've been messing with this thing for 2 hours, but I finally got it working. What I did was restarted the computer, changed out the cable. Now everything seems to be working fine. So I'm going to do my best, friends, to have a nice, peaceful show. It's going to be, I got a lot of audio comments and show reviews and music to play for you and things to talk about. Let's see if we being me, here comes the dog. Here comes the puppy dog. Oh, let me get this dog out of here. All right, go on, Callie. Go on, out of here, girl. Go on, out of here. Okay, let's play some music. This is brand new Scott Sorry. His record is called When We Were Kings. Thank you to Gav McConaughey for sending me this, friend of mine, Gav, ex-manager of Ginger Wildheart. Brand new Scott Sorry. This song is called Broken Hearts and 45.
I've been counting the scars on the back of my hands. The blood and calluses and best laid plans. But I've been getting it wrong for all this time. I'm the ghost in this town on the Broad Street line where the avenue ends at the road behind. Is this all you want out of life? No! Drop the needle on the record player, the stereo's kicking remotes. Take a breath and I feel a bit better, but Lord, I'm wishing
I love that. I love that. Brand new Scott Sorry. Wow. Good punk rock music, man. That if you don't know who Scott Sorry is, he's the bass player for Wild Hearts. Has the job that I wish I had. That was a catchy as hell tune. That made me feel a lot better, man. It brought me down to earth. It's amazing what a good song can do when you're all stressed out. But I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know, friends. All right. So why don't I thank some donors? The business out of the way. Everybody who's donated to the show, friends, thank you so much for donating. I cannot do this show without you. I'm going to take a sip of this fine Tecate to everybody. Let's find some background music. This was sent to me. This background music was sent to me from Brad Fletcher. Hey there, Michael. Brad from Cairns, Australia here. Enjoying all the recent podcasts, and I'm loving Mad at Dad. Keep up the good work. Thanks for the ass kissing, friends. Has an album called Too Many Gods by English band Cats in Space come to your attention at all? Came out in late 2015. It's a very retro-sounding album. Name check the many influences. I've sent you an invite to not get the album from my Dropbox because that would just be wrong. Let me know what you think. All right, so let's play that in the background while we thank people who donate. Cats in Space, I have not heard this. I could do without the synthesizers, a little too 80s pop sounding for me. I prefer the more 70s, whatever, you know.
Can you see me through the frame?
Not bad, pretty catchy. All right, there are two ways you can donate. There's actually more than two ways. You can donate through Patreon, patreon.com/RNRGeek, as Chiaki, my good friend Chiaki Hinohara from the Metal Moment podcast. He came over last week and had some Italian food, him and his wife, the designated driver. Thank you, Chiaki, from the Metal Moment podcast and Japanese Metalhead Show for the $5 every episode on Patreon. Thank you to Brian Springer for the $5 every episode. Thank you to Dave Slusher, my podcast mentor and co-host of Mad at Dad. You know the chorus here. For the $5, Dave Slusher. Good melodic hard rock, I guess. Thank you to Eric Stowell for the $2 on Patreon every episode. Thank you to Robert Harvey for the $2. And thank you to Corey Koehler for the $1 on Patreon. You can also donate through PayPal, as Michael Mack, friend of the show, did for the $2. Thank you to John BOveri for the $5. Thank you to Peter Spark for the $2. Thank you to Patrick Shanahan for the $20. Thanks, Patrick Shanahan. I take a sip of this fine Tecate to you, friend. Thank you to Chris Harrison for the $10. Thank you to Mario Zoth for the $2. Thanks to Paul Fondry for the $10. Thanks to Jeff Thielke for the $10. Thanks to David Ivey for the $5. Thanks to Adrian Boschen, Bosch Rock on the forums of Rock and Roll Geek, on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook page. Thank you to Keenan O'Meara for the $5. Thanks, Keenan. I really appreciate it, friend. Thanks to Dave Franco for the $10. Thanks to Greg Long for the $5. As I'm fighting to get this little puppy out of here. Out of here! Out! Son of a bitch, that dog. Where am I? I'm frazzled, friends. Thank you to David Ivey for the $5. Thanks to... Okay, where am I? Greg Long for the $5. Thanks to Dean Gillespie for the $5. Thanks to James Venners for the $10. Thanks to Richard Strom for the $5. Thanks to Dale Roller for the $5. Thanks to Andrew Howe, $5. Thanks to Jason Shepard for $10. Thanks to Jeffrey Canaparoli for the $5. Okay, let's get it on another... I only have... can I get them all in 30 seconds? Let's see here. I'm going to go quick. Thanks to Jason Shepard for the $10. Thanks to Jero Carroll for the $5. Thanks to Sigmund Hydasser for the $5. Friend of mine and friend of the show, Todd Cunningham for the $10. Thanks to Lassie Satveghagen for the $2. Thanks to Jeffrey Canaparoli for the $5. Thanks to Bradley Lisco for the... What did Bradley Lisco? I think $10. Thanks to John Skiller for the $2. Thanks to Michael Valori for the $2. Thanks to Ralph Miller, friend of mine, for the $10. Thanks to Bradford Page. I didn't make it. Didn't make it. I did not make it. A little more cats in space. I don't want to rush over these people who donated because I depend on the donations. Thanks to... Oh.
The world I wanna get out. Stop spinning like a roustabout.
Like a roustabout. It sounds a little like David Lee Roth.
What do you see? There's precious little left for free. Computers taking over.
I think I have a little bit of problem with bands who purposely try to sound retro rather than being natural. But that being said, it's pretty catchy. I kind of like it. Thanks to Ralph Miller for the $10. Thank you to Bradford Page for the $2. Thanks to Anthony Lascalzo for the $2. Thank you to Michael Stevens for the $10. Thanks to Dave Jackson, School of Podcasting, for the $10. Thank you to Chris Stanley for the $10. Thank you to Dan McBride for the $5. Thank you to Paul Underwood for the $10. Thanks to John BOveri for the $5. Friends, I cannot tell you how much it means to me for you to be continuing to donate to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. Without your donations, this show will die a horrible, putrid, stench-filled, diarrhea-smelling death. All right, I take a sip of this fine Tecate to everyone who donates. Okay, there you go. Cats in space. Enough of cats in space. All right, how about a audio comment here? I think I have a roving reporter. Hello, roving reporter. Come in, roving reporter.
Hey, Michael. It's Eric, the rock and roll Pleeb.
Hey, Eric.
How are you doing?
I am super great. Could not be better. Well, yeah, I have been better, but okay.
I could be better.
Me too.
I'm doing pretty good, but I'm reporting live from outside.
Is your computer fucked up too? Okay, he's reporting live from somewhere.
The Hardcore Superstar and Michael Monroe concert.
Oh, nice. I went to see Michael Monroe and Hardcore Superstar when they came to San Jose, the Rockbar. Recently just closed down. A great club, too, man. I'm going to miss that place. But I went with my... out, Callie. Go on, out, Callie. Sorry, I have my Martina's watching this puppy. Go on, Callie. Keeps trying to get into my office. It's the forbidden fruit. And she trashes my office. So anyway, Chiaki and I went to the Michael Monroe and Hardcore Superstar show in San Jose. It was a fantastic show. It's one of the most high-energy rock shows I've been to all year, and I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed it. So, Eric Rock and Roll Pleeb, how did you like it?
In Sellersville, Pennsylvania, about 45 minutes outside of Philadelphia. It's Tuesday, February 16th. And we had a stretch of a little bit of bad weather here the last couple days.
How about that weather?
And it's around 9:30.
Well, it's pretty hot here. Okay. I don't think he's giving a weather report. I think he's getting to a point here.
And it's around 9:30, and the show is supposed to start 2 hours ago, but the band has yet to arrive.
Oh, very nice.
As we speak, they are playing the movie Spinal Tap to entertain the restless crowd.
Okay.
And we're being told that they are about maybe 20 miles away. So we'll see what happens. I'll try to report back if the show starts, but just wanted to give you a live report from the Michael Monroe Hardcore Superstar concert. Once again, it's 9:30, and the show has not begun.
All right, there you go. Roving reporter Eric, the rock and roll Pleeb. We will get back to you, Eric, in a little while. Okay, got another show review here, I think.
Hey, Michael Butler, it's Steve Crocker, the Rock and Roll Roadrunner,
Hey,
calling in to give you a special road trip show review for the first date of the Book of Souls tour, Iron Maiden in Fort Lauderdale.
Have you seen the jet? It's not even a jet. It's like it's a 757 or something. It's a big, huge airplane that I think Bruce Dickinson is driving. Which I saw a picture of him on Facebook, and he doesn't look very. A friend of mine, took a picture with him, and he looks very, very, very small. I don't know, very thin. I hope he's not on the death pool. All right, back to you.
Wednesday, February 24th. But before I do, I'm going to take a nice sip of this 8 o'clock coffee. I'm pretty burnt out after being on the road for a whole week down in Florida, and I just got back at 2 in the morning.
It's too bad. I'm going to take a sip of this fine Tecate while you drink the coffee.
So this was my third Iron Maiden trip to Fort Lauderdale. The first 2 times I went down there was crazy. Drove down there, saw the show, came straight back. It's brutal, and it's been cold as shit here in Atlanta, so decided to make a complete whole trip.
Oh, he drove from Atlanta.
This for a whole week, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a color leading up to the show and afterwards, and I hope you enjoy it. Here we go.
Okay,
well,
here's
anyways,
the production.
For weeks now, I've just been anticipating the moment of going down to Florida and just keeping up with Iron Maiden on the website and keeping up with Ed Force One, landing in Fort Lauderdale about 3 days before we left, and finally hit the road on Monday. It took about six and a half hours to get to St. Augustine, which, for your listeners, St. Augustine is the oldest city in the United States.
South of Jacksonville, Florida, where I was born, and Stephen Crocker is also from.
De Leon landed looking for the Fountain of Youth, but it's just this great, charming, laid-back beach town. I mean, you couldn't pick a better spot to rest up for the next day's drive. The weather was gorgeous, and the first thing we did was hit the beach, hang out, grab some lunch, then ended up going down to the historical part of town and just walking around. We met some friends from Jacksonville, and we ended up getting drunk all night and meeting some crazy people down at the Trade Wind Lounge, which I'm sure you've been to many a time back in the day.
Like
I said, we were just taking
when I was in Stevie Stiletto, we recorded all of our albums down in St. Augustine at Jimmy DeVito's place. Love Jimmy DeVito, and I loved his place too. We
weren't in a hurry. We wanted to do it right. The next morning, we got up and we drove down A1A, which was just fucking gorgeous, man. We stopped in Ormond Beach, drove all the way to Daytona. Then we cut back to 95.
I-95 is a nice drive through the South. I like it. You can buy boiled peanuts on the side of the freeway.
The Kennedy Space Center for a little bit, then made our way down to Fort Lauderdale, which our first port of call was Rock and Roll Ribs, which, as you know, is owned by the drummer Nico McBrain.
That's right.
We got there about 7:30 because we were hoping we could get a table.
I bet that place was packed with Iron Maiden fans if they were coming to, if they're all down for the Iron Maiden show.
Got there, of course, it was completely packed with Iron Maiden fans.
I swear to God, friends, I have not listened to this audio comment. Swear to God.
This is the second time my buddy had been there before a Maiden show, and he couldn't get in the first time that he went down. Got there, and we talked to the people to get on the waiting list to get in. Found out that they were already overbooked and that they closed at 9 o'clock, which we fucking couldn't believe. I mean, you got all these people wanting to drink Trooper and eat barbecue, and they're closing at 9 o'clock.
What you do is you go down and get something from the store down the street. You just hang out outside, and you bring your own Trooper.
Me a break. In any case, we already had friends from Fort Lauderdale who were already on their way down to the restaurant, so we just decided to stick around and make the best of it. Plus, we've been on the road for like 6 hours, so we needed a break anyways. It was no surprise when we were talking to a lot of the Maiden fans. A lot of them were Euro trash that flew over for the show had money or came from money. It was amazing. So it was actually fun talking with people for, I don't know, about an hour or so. Luckily, there were people that dropped out, and we were squeezed into the restaurant at the last minute. So we got a table like 10 minutes before they closed, which we were so fucking grateful for. The inside of the restaurant was a little touristy, but it was all Iron Maiden gold records and
that sounds like a fun
all
place.
kinds of swag and memorabilia. So I didn't fucking care, man. It was super cool to be in that place. It was very, very small. But I will say this, like an authentic barbecue, the place was just layered with grease. I mean, I almost busted my ass walking to the table because there was so much grease on the floor. So that kind of gave me hope that So this cute waitress comes by to take our order, and of course they're out of Trooper beer. I mean, it'd been a long day, so we didn't bitch, so I think I ended up having a Sam Adams.
That's fine.
But I'll tell you what, when
I'm not a huge fan of the Trooper beer. I think it's a little strong for me.
Food came, the ribs were amazing. I mean, the ribs just dropped off the bone. It's some of the best barbecue I ever had. And despite it being kind of a theme bar, kind of hard rock thing, it was like a really highly rated restaurant in Fort Lauderdale. So I think Nico's doing something right because, I mean, the food was just delicious. So we were really happy to get in there, get a great meal, see some Iron Maiden swag, meet some Eurotrash fans, and move on to our next adventure, which I think we ended up at the Hard Rock Casino. So I just watched my friends lose their money, and I ended up just walking around the casino taking pictures of the rock and roll memorabilia on the wall, which they had a pretty wide assortment of some cool stuff. I'll save some time and not get into that. But it was worth the trip just to hang out there for an hour or so. We soon checked into our Motel 6, which is the kind of place that you see on the news at 11 o'clock where the bodies are coming out covered in sheets, but it actually wasn't that bad.
If you're going to go on a rock and roll road trip, that's what you do, man.
Just trying to save a little money. We had a great place the next night of the show, but anyways, we checked in late and pretty much just crashed. The morning of the show, we just woke up, got some coffee, and just took it easy until we had to pick up a buddy at the Fort Lauderdale airport that was flying in from Atlanta. We were hoping to see Air Force One, but there was no sign of it.
Ed Force.
We just went to the terminal and waited and picked up my buddy and headed straight to Fort Lauderdale Beach, where we had this really beautiful place called the Ocean View Hotel. It's about a, 25-story building. Pretty cool, and checked in. Afterwards, we hopped back in the car. I know
that place.
Headed out to the BBT Center, stopping to get some really kick-ass Latino food for the tailgate party
Cuban
ahead.
Food.
And when we got there, the place was just already rocking with Maiden fans. I mean, and as you know, when you go to an Iron Maiden show, everybody is wearing an Iron Maiden shirt.
Yep, and it's a big community.
It was kind of like one big Iron Maiden family, which was just cool. So we were like totally excited. So parked the car, set up the table, grabbed the coolers, grabbed the food, and just hung out and had a great time for about 2 hours, just living it up, waiting in anticipation to go in and see the show. Everything seemed to be going right, which was usually unusual because usually there's some snags. And of course, we hit the first one once we packed up the car and walked up to the BBT Center. And in a nutshell, Ticketmaster fucked up and their computers went down, leaving fans at the gate for about 2 hours trying to get in. In fact, it was so long that most people didn't get in until the opening band was almost done, which was Steve Harris's son's band.
Bullshit.
So I know nothing about them. Didn't even see them. But the fans were fucking pissed.
If I was Steve Harris's son, I'd be pissed. You're playing in front of nobody because nobody can get in the concert?
Hell. So much so that during the actual concert, for about a minute, sorry about that, Bruce Dickerson just went off about Ticketmaster and kind of apologized to the crowd for having to wait to get in.
Bullshit.
Once inside, we went straight to the swag tables. They had about 4 of them. Everybody wants a T-shirt, and a lot of people want a very
Iron Maiden sells tons of merch.
What they call a vent shirt, which is a one-off shirt they have that they just sell for the show. And this one was for the first show of the tour, which featured Eddie in front of Rock and Roll Ribs, flipping barbecue.
Look at that. That's a great
it's all bloody
one.
And there's like snails and worms and shit on the
I'd like
grill.
to have one of those.
On the back, it's got the date of the first show. Very, very cool, and I was lucky enough to get one. After we scored some booty...
Steve Crocker, please don't send that to me. Please, that would just be wrong.
Got some beers and then headed down to the floor.
Size medium.
We got there about 5 minutes before the show started. The place was packed, and we were probably about 15
did they play
feet from the
Doctor
stage.
before they went on?
As soon as the lights go out, we hear Doctor Doctor,
there you
which
go.
I guess is what Iron Maiden always opens up with. So as
Good
soon
luck.
as we heard UFO, Doctor,
yeah.
the crowd just went nuts.
Come
and they were just singing along.
What more
They
do
played the
you
whole show,
need to get
and then
into the mood for an Iron Maiden? Some Doctor. Oh.
Hearing the beginning
I think we're gonna have to listen
theme
to some
music
Dr.
as Iron
Doctor.
Maiden's about to come on stage. As I expected, they opened up with "If Eternity Should Fail," and it was just fucking amazing.
Eternity
Should
should fail.
So they started off with "If Eternity Should Fail," and then went right into "Speed of Light." And the entire stage and set pieces was just a giant, Mayan temple. It was really fucking cool.
I've seen
as
video
expected,
of it.
and I was not disappointed. Maiden, they were flawless. They were tight. It sounded incredible. They were all over the stage. I mean, I was mesmerized during the whole show. Steve Harris was all over the place. Adrian Smith and Dave Murray were just killing it. Yannick, we didn't see much of him. We were on stage
Yannick.
left. He always stays on stage right, and I think he's a great guitar player, but I think he's got the goofiest stage presence.
I love
of
his
anybody in
stage
rock.
presence.
I mean, he
love
just does
it.
his little
I love
spinal
it.
tap dances,
Love it.
and I think all the band knows that. But
He's great to watch. Hold on, a little bit of this. Oh, just cannot. Yeah, I can't fucking play it. Forget it. No, Doctor.
Man, it was just amazing, man. I can't tell you what a great time I had at this show. The next song they played was "Children of the Damned," which I hadn't heard in a while. It was amazing. After they played that, they went right back to the new album and played "Tears of a Clown" and then "The Red and the Black," which was the song I really wanted to hear more than any other song, and they fucking killed it. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
That's the best song on the new album, and they performed it flawlessly for 14 minutes, and the crowd just went nuts. And I think most of the people knew the album, so they were singing along. I mean, it was great. It's an anthem. It's like Iron Maiden's new anthem, but that song was amazing to hear live, and I just enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah,
The Red and the Black then was followed by The Trooper, which is standard Iron Maiden fare. You've heard it a million times, but they gotta play it, and I never get tired of that song. And it gives a chance for Bruce Dickinson to get out and wave the Union Jack.
Yeah.
So happy to hear it, and happy to see him play it again live. After that, they went right back to the new album and played "Death or Glory," which is
Death
another
or
great song from the
Glory!
album.
A lot of new songs, that's good.
It turned into a big sing-along, followed by "The Book of Souls." I was really, really happy that they played a lot from the new album, which I think
it's such a
totally
great album
that they did that. In fact, I would have been happy if they'd played the entire
top
new
to
album,
bottom. Me too,
maybe
man.
a few encores,
Empire
but
of the Stars
that
or
wasn't
whatever
the
it's
case, but
called.
I think it ended up they played about 7 or 8 songs from the new album. From there, they went
That's
back
great.
to the Number of the Beast album and
I take your
performed
vow.
"Hallowed Be Thy Name."
Hallowed
which,
be
this
thy
time
name!
around, Bruce added a little
what a
theatrics
great- I
to
wanna
it
go see
and
them, man.
sported a hangman's noose around his neck. I thought maybe they would put him on a cable like he was actually hanging, but he just kind of just had it around his neck and kind of lifted it up with his arm. But it was still cool. I give him a little effort for adding a little more flair to his performance. The next song on the list was "Fear of the Dark," which was pretty good. And then after that, of course, kind of signaling that the concert is almost over before the encores, they went into Iron Maiden from the first album,
Nice.
which we got to see the new Eddie this year for this tour, which was a Mayan Eddie that was 20 feet tall.
I love it. I
like
love
we
it.
see in the album cover, and of course that everybody went nuts. That was amazing to hear that, and there's certain things in an Iron Maiden show that just kind of carry over, and the fans know it, but we all love it, so you have to hear Iron Maiden, and you know that that's going to be the last song before the encores, and then Eddie's going to come out and prance around the stage, and it always seems to go over to Yannick and fuck with him. It's kind of like the
I found it. I
little
got it.
comedy act.
Let's listen to a little bit of this. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Steve. And the lights go down. All the Iron Maiden fans are crowded around having some Trooper Ale at the Iron Maiden show, waiting to buy their overpriced t-shirts. And they hear Dr. Doctor on the big PA. I almost couldn't say PA. The big thing that plays the music with the big speakers. they're coming on. We gotta run to our seats and listen to some UFO. I gotta go see Iron Maiden.
Doctor, please.
Yeah. All right. Wow. Okay. Geeking out now. So I apologize. Back to you, Steve Crocker. Let me back you up a little bit.
Eddie this year for this tour, which was a Mayan Eddie that was 20 feet tall, like we see in the album cover, and of course that everybody went nuts. That was amazing to hear that. And there's certain things in an Iron Maiden show that just kind of carry over, and the fans know it, but we all love it. So
yes.
You have to hear Iron Maiden, and you know that that's going to be the last song before the encores, and then Eddie's going to come out and prance around the stage.
Hold on a second, Steve. I got to geek out a second. Yeah, there's something about an Iron Maiden show. There's really no fighting or anything in an Iron Maiden show. Everybody, that's it. If that is one band that unites all of its fans in the name of metal, it's a big communal experience. If you ever saw, if you have not seen it, watch Flight 666. It's great. All right, enough UFO. Back to you, Steve Crocker.
It always seems to go over to Yannick and fuck with him. It's kind of like the little comedy act. The giant Eddie goes over and starts messing with Yannick, and Yannick's acting like, he's fighting back, and it was all good fun. Good, clean Iron Maiden fun.
Exactly.
So the stage goes dark for about 5 minutes
what a good
while
time.
everybody's
What a
chanting
good
Maiden
time.
and waiting for them to come out to the encores. The bass intro from the Number of the Beast kicked in, and there were two red lights that were on Steve Harris. It was really cool.
Yeah. Best bass player in rock.
Pretty much during the whole song and Number of the Beast, the whole stage was bathed in, of course, red light. And in the back, kind of a la Pink Floyd, they had this giant inflatable Baphomet that, it was just a giant head with horns, and it just slowly moved around looking at the crowd, and it had these blazing light eyes. It was really, really fucking cool.
Yeah. Sounds like a great time. What happened here? What happened to Steve Crocker? Did I lose him?
We partied till 4 in the morning and had a huge,
we're backing up here.
Amazing, killer, kick-ass show. Everything I expected. Completely worth the money and the drive down to Fort Lauderdale and see the show. I mean, it couldn't have
rock
gotten
and roll
any better.
road trip, man.
But as a consequence, it did get better. The next day, before we left town, we had to drop our buddy back off at the airport, and we slept in. I mean, we
saw Ed
we
Force
partied
One.
till 4 in the morning and had a huge
I see this. I
hangover
see it coming.
and packed up. I mean, we were cutting it close. Checkout at the hotel was 11. I don't think we got out till about 11:45. But we hung out on the beach for a little bit, which we hadn't had to do the day before, and it was like we died and woke up in mobster heaven. I mean, Fort Lauderdale is kind of weird in a beautiful way.
All old New Yorkers.
So we hung out there for about an hour, and then drove my buddy back to one of our friends back to the airport to catch his plane ride home. And as we're entering the airport, I kind of look over, and there it is. I see the fucking fin of Ed Force One. I see the giant Eddie on the back
Isn't
tail.
That great? Isn't
and
that
I go, holy shit,
great?
man, there's Air Force One. So we drop my buddy off, and then we drive around the airport, and then we find this observation hill, and we see about 30 people up there. So we park the car and go up there, and man, there she is. Not only do we see her, but some guys go on. Their engine lights are running, and we see the engines rotating. So we got there 5 minutes before Ed Force One took off.
Nice. Did you watch it take
for the next
off?
gig. So that was just amazing to be there and take pictures and be able to watch Iron Maiden take off.
Oh, what a
and head
spectacle,
to Oklahoma for their next show. So just an amazing trip, amazing show, and I really hope they do an extended U.S. tour and I get to see him again, because I never get tired of seeing Iron Maiden.
I gotta go see him.
So anyways, that's pretty much it. I'll wrap it up. I know this has been long, but it was a long week, a long, fun week, and just wanted to share it with you and your listeners out there, and hope you enjoy it. If you want to edit it a little bit, be my guest.
Nah.
But it It was a killer show, and if anybody can catch the 2 or 3 dates they got left in the U.S., I would go out and see them. I'm sure they're going to come back and do an extended U.S. tour, but right now they're just doing the 747 tour, and it's a worldwide thing, and I feel so fucking lucky I got to see the first show. Stay filthy, as I like to say.
Stay frosty,
Take it
friend.
easy, Mike.
All right. Thanks, Steve Crocker. You too can leave me a show review. Area code 706-621-ROCK, or you can just email like Steve Crocker did to rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. All right, a little bit more of this. All right, there you go. Go on YouTube and look for the wristband incident. I think it's up there somewhere, but Casey and I went to the Iron Maiden show, and we counterfeited some wristbands and snuck down to the lower section. It was at the Iron Maiden show. It was fun times, man. All right, let's check back in with the Rock and Roll Pleeb at the Michael Monroe Show. Come in. Are you there, Ed? Or Eric, excuse me. Are you there? Ed, Force 1. Are you there? Eric, Force 1. Eric, the Rock and Roll Pleeb. Hello, Eric. Are you there?
Hey, Michael Butler.
Oh, there you are.
It is Eric, the Rock and Roll Pleeb, here live at the Hardcore Superstar and Michael Monroe concert. It's about 11:15 on a Tuesday night. And the band has, the roadies did sound check in front of the crowd. It's about a 500-seat theater, but it's probably only quarter filled, if that.
Uh-oh. Someone's drunk.
Hardcore Superstar is about to hit the stage. See if I can get a little field recording of that. Although I don't want to.
Okay. All right, I can't hear it. Eric. The sound quality's horrible. Okay.
Hey, Michael Butler, it's Eric. The Rock and Roll
checking in again.
Intermission at the Hardcore Superstars Michael Monroe Show.
Wow, that was quick.
It's around 12:30 in the morning.
It's intermission. The first band's done. It's already 12:30. Bummer for Michael Monroe.
Show. I'm in a daze.
I can imagine.
It's been a long night. Hardcore Superstar just finished and really good. You know, they played to a quarter, to 100 people or whatever, and they just nailed it.
When I saw Hardcore Superstar, they were good. As a matter of fact, surprisingly, there were a lot of Hardcore Superstar fans. They were good. Bass player, a little more fatter than I was expecting, but they gave it their best effort, and they played some good songs.
Don't know a lot about the band, but they played, some of the songs I know. The Above the Law.
Above the Law!
Celebrate Sundays.
Above the Law! Like I'm dead, I'm a thief.
Someone out here on the street is having a drunken fight.
Oh, good. Fight.
It's not fucking fun. It's not fucking fun. It's not fucking fun!
Nice.
Get the fuck away from me!
Good times, Michael Butler.
Oh, yeah. Good times.
And they did!
Is he crying?
What the fuck am I supposed to be?
I'll check in later, Michael
Yeah,
Butler.
okay.
Good
All
times
right.
at the Michael Monroe
Oh,
Show.
yeah. Good times. All right. Let's play a song. How about some brand new Rick Springfield? I'm going to do a track by track of the new Rick Springfield, probably on the next show. I need to give this a listen. Have not given it a hard listen yet. It's a country flavored album, but it's getting great reviews. So I need to listen to it. But the next show I do, pardon me, I'm burping up this or choking on this fine Tecate. The next show I do, I'm probably going to do a track by track of the new Rick Springfield, which is called Rocket Science. Let's hear The Best Damn Thing.
You're the best damn thing, and I'm the lucky one. Gave you a reason to walk out on me that night and go looking for Mr. Right, 'cause I sure look like Mr. Wrong. A deer in the headlights, I stood there and lied, made a ghost
There you go. Brand new Rick Springfield. Nice catchy tune. All right. A lot of people have asked me if I have been watching Vinyl and what I think about it. I have been watching Vinyl. Vinyl, if you don't know, is a new show on HBO. It's produced by Martin Scorsese and Mick Jagger. And as a matter of fact, Mick Jagger's son plays the singer of this band, the Nasty Bits. The first episode was a 2-hour premiere. Pardon me, I'm having a Tourette's fit here. Was a 2-hour premiere directed by Martin Scorsese. And the first one, I was thinking this show's going to suck. This show is really cheesy, full of symbolism, and I think Martin Scorsese kind of ruined the first episode with his directing. So people asked me if I've been watching, and I didn't want to really say that I didn't like it, but I was thinking this is not good. I'm not really liking this at all. But then at the end of the episode, the star of the show, which is the guy from Boardwalk Empire, I forget what his name is. He's like he played a gangster on Boardwalk Empire. Good actor. He goes to the New York Dolls show, and they're playing the Mercer Arts Center or something like that, and the place crumbles to the ground, which was full of symbolism. He's on a coke fit, and he's like has an epiphany when he sees New York Dolls. Anyway, that was okay to see because the band was playing Personality Crisis, and it was a band that looked like the New York Dolls. It was like, what I like about the show is they will intersperse fictitious characters with real rock and roll characters, because they, like, for instance, they had somebody playing Robert Plant on the show. They had like a Led Zeppelin impersonators on the show, and this one they had New York Dolls impersonators. But the first episode I didn't really like. A lot of cheesy dialogue, which all 3 episodes that I've seen, there's been 3 so far. The dialogue is a little bit cheesy, but on the last episode, I mean, just think about television, right, for a second. If you're watching a TV show and there is a character of Alice Cooper throughout the episode, the 3rd episode, the guy is trying to sign Alice Cooper to a solo deal. And there's a guy playing Alice Cooper, and they're playing golf. And, I mean, what's not to like? I mean, Alice Cooper in the episode, it's set in 1973, and some of the timeline stuff is not really... doesn't really jibe with 1973. For instance, the main band on the show is called the Nasty Bits, which the singer is played by Mick Jagger's son. In the 3rd episode, they're playing a song. By the way, the Nasty Bits are supposedly, according to Richard Hell, they're supposedly based on Richard Hell and the Voidoids. At least that's what Richard Hell claims. Anyway, they play a Dead Boy song, I Want You to Know What Love Is. If I remember right, I think the Dead Boy album came out in like 76. So the timeline doesn't completely jive, but I don't care. You could still get past that. I have not completely watched the 3rd episode yet, but in the episodes so far, I've seen there's an Andy Warhol imitator who does a great Andy Warhol. Not a huge fan of Andy Warhol, but which, by the way, in the 2nd episode, they're at an Andy Warhol party, and Velvet Underground's playing, and the music is just so fucking lame. It reminded me of why I don't like Velvet Underground or Lou Reed. May he rest in peace. But the 3rd episode, so they're playing a Dead Boy song. The Nasty Bits is the name of the band, which is a stupid name. But in the episode, you hear Thin Lizzy, the rocker, playing in the background. Come on, Thin Lizzy on a TV show? Which, by the way, Thin Lizzy is supposedly on the label, on this fictitious label, American Century Records. Thin Lizzy is one of their artists, and they're going through their roster of artists because they have to cut the fat, because they have to trim their roster to try to save money, because they were going to sell the record label, but the main guy decides not to sell the record label because it's the power of rock and roll. He saw the New York Dolls at Mercer Arts Center. Anyway, so he decides not to sell it, and they're going through their list of artists, who they're going to keep and who they're going to drop and who they're going to keep. And Thin Lizzy comes up and he says, "We're going to keep Thin Lizzy." So, and they're playing the rocker in the background, which was great. And Alice Cooper there's a character, the Alice Cooper band, actually, the original Alice Cooper band is in the episode. It's guys playing the Alice Cooper band, so it's actors playing Alice Cooper. It's fun. The show is fun. I'm really into it. third episode, each episode gets better. The first episode, like I said, wasn't very good. Second episode, a little bit better. Third episode, I like a lot more. So I'm looking forward to more of Vinyl. I haven't finished watching the third episode. As soon as I get done with this, I may have to postpone posting this show until like Tuesday night because it's already 10 o'clock at night, and I want to finish watching this episode of Vinyl. But they're playing I Love the Dead from Alice Cooper. It shows them rehearsing for the $1 Billion Babies tour. Come on, what's not to like about a TV show that's got the Alice Cooper band rehearsing for the $1 Billion Babies tour? And the entire band looks like the Alice Cooper band. The guy playing Dennis Dunaway is playing his jazz bass with the sparkly things on the bass. It's a good show, man. It has a fun spirit. Again, some of the dialogue a little bit cheesy. There's a little bit too much cocaine use throughout it, but I'm enjoying it. So there you go. That's my review of the show Vinyl. All right. Why don't I play another audio comment?
Hey, Michael Butler. It's Mike Mack calling in with...
oh, by the way, Mike Mack, thank you for the donation, friend. It keeps the show alive. Final
show weekend review. As we know, Rockbar San Jose is now gone, yes. And sadly it has happened, and they're moving to Reno, but last weekend was the final round of shows, and it was pretty atypical for the Rockbar to have the kind of music they had going last weekend. They had the tribute band that I caught on Friday night with Led Zeppelin, and obviously a Led Zeppelin tribute band. I won't go into great detail on either of the acts I saw last weekend, but I must say Zeppelin was pretty spot on with their tribute to Led Zeppelin. Played all the hits you'd want to hear them play, a couple deeper cuts. True to form, the band was. They strayed a little bit here and there, added a little bit of their own sounds, twists to the classic Zeppelin songs, and came across really well received. Decent crowd at the Rockbar that night. Singer was really good, spot on. He didn't use any vocal effects as I assumed he might have, but pretty spot on the whole night. Right up until the end when they were doing Immigrant Song and he botched one of the verses. He forgot the words, and then
come to the land of the snow and snow.
Through the verse, he kind of came in with another verse from another part of the song and mixed up the whole delivery. But for the most part, he was spot on the whole night. And I guess having performed a few times in front of people, I've always relied on my iPad for teleprompter type of lyric delivery. So maybe that would be the good idea for the singer to go with in the future.
Not a very rock and roll thing to do, Mike Mack.
Tribute night one, Friday night, and then Saturday night, Michael Monroe.
I was there.
Someone told me at the show this was going to be an enlightenment for me, and sure enough, it was. I
think that someone might have been me.
Walked into the show.
I said, prepare to be enlightened, friend.
Not knowing much about Michael Monroe or Hanoi Rocks, but after looking at some of the YouTube clips of the band and Michael Monroe's stage presence, I figured, hey, right down the street from my house, final weekend Rockbar, I got to go check this out. So as I did the night before, I kind of made my entrance in through the outdoor. Just happened to sneak on in, and it was
nice. Snuck in.
Quite a good time to be had by all, as you probably know, because I did see you there.
That's right.
Great night, music, swagger, rock, steady vocalist this guy was. He had a tight band behind him, and just a really, really cool sound. Just harkened back to the the bluesy rock sound, kind of a little bit Aerosmith vibe going.
Fantastic.
Guns N' Roses
show.
a little bit in there, and just some really, really good.
Guns N' Roses wishes they were good as Hanoi Rocks were.
Hard rocking, classic rock sounds coming from the stage on that Saturday night at the Rockbar. And Michael Monroe, what can you say, man? The guy's in his 50s and he's acting like he's in his 20s, man. I've never seen anybody climb up the side of a venue onto the top part of the ceiling as he's delivering vocals to the crowd below. That was pretty much a cool, badass rock star kind of vibe I got
Climbing
from that.
all over
And the guy
place.
plays a mean saxophone as
hell
well.
yeah, and a mean harmonica.
That's always a plus when you got a singer who can not just sing but play instruments. He also played the harp during the last song, and just a really good time, good night of music, and a pretty solid way for the Rockbar to kind of close out its run here in San Jose. Unfortunately for us, locals to this area, it was a sad reminder.
That was a great club.
That, hey, we had a great club here, even though it was for 16 months. Saw some great shows there. Met some cool people there.
I'm
Saw
surprised
you
the club
guys,
lasted so
Butlers,
long.
Featherwitch play there a handful of times. Good times to be had by all. And anyone who's listening, if you've got a club or a rock and roll venue in your vicinity or neighborhood, make sure you go out and patronize it, and perhaps spend the money at the door instead of doing just sneaking in the back door like I've done a few times there.
If you're going to sneak in the back door, buy some beers.
Support your local music venue, because just like this happened, without warning, they shut the doors on the place and they moved to Reno. So let's keep these rock and roll clubs alive if we can, because they really are important for the music scene in our area. So that's about it, man. Thanks for listening. Hope everything's well. Stay frosty. Talk to you soon.
Stay frosty, friend. All right, let's check back in with the rock and roll plebe at the Michael Monroe Show.
Butler, it's Eric, the rock and roll plebe.
Hey, Eric.
I just want to close out my my night, my Michael Monroe and hardcore superstar night.
Sounds wasted.
Sorry, all the stuff I sent you. I don't know if any of it's even worth playing on the show. I don't mind if you don't play any of it. But
yeah, okay.
Let
me go back and edit it out.
Recap it all. The night, even though the show, the first band didn't come on till 10:30 or whatever it was. It was both bands were really great. Played their hearts out. Michael Monroe played, a lot of the more recent stuff. I'm sure the set list is out there if anyone wants to look. But Old Kings Road and Going Down with the Ship and whatever that fuck shit up one.
Fuck shit up. FSU.
Trick of the Wrist.
That's a trick of the wrist.
He played a couple of the the older tunes like Oriental Beat, and
he played Man with No Eyes when I saw him.
Jail, Rock and Roll.
Yep.
And
Dead Jail or
did
Rock
an
and
encore
Roll.
song. I think it was called Malibu.
Malibu Beach.
I mean, the band rocked. One thing about Michael Monroe. Three things about Michael Monroe. Dude likes to do the splits.
Yeah.
Dude likes to jump off of things. He climbed up on the speaker cabinet. He climbed up on the top of the drums. He climbed out in the audience and stood on a table. And
gives it all he's got. He gives 100%.
At one point, I think he was annoyed because people were looking over at the set list.
I don't like when people do that too.
Because he went down and he ripped the set list
yeah,
off.
A lot of times when the Butlers are playing, or even Featherwitch, people will be climbing over the monitor wedge and looking at the set list to see what songs you're playing. I don't like when people do that. As a guy on stage, I don't like it either. I want people to be surprised. When I was in Stevie Sletta, we never even wrote down a set list. We just called off the songs. When I'm watching a band, I don't want to see the set list. I want to be surprised, and I like people to be surprised, so I can relate to Michael Monroe.
And
for what that's worth. I'm not putting myself up there with Michael Monroe, but I know how he feels. People, some people don't want the audience to see what's coming next. They want them to. They want them to. That's why I don't like to go on setlist.com or whatever and look and see what set list that the artists are playing, because I want to be surprised. I want to look for. I want to say, are they going to play this one? Or are they going to play that one? I want to. It makes it more of an exciting show to me.
Did them to the back of the amp so that the audience couldn't see it. And another thing about this place, it's like an old theater that has seats bolted in, but then in front of the seats there's an empty space, and they decided to put some chairs and then these round like cocktail tables. So that's actually where I ended up sitting. Like, I bought my tickets the other day, and I guess they weren't sold out, obviously. So I got tickets like right in front with one of these round cocktail tables. So it was a little bit weird. Like, you're sitting there, and I think it annoyed or amused Michael Monroe a lot. Like, he came out and he saw people like sitting at these cocktail tables, and I was standing up the whole time, but a lot of people were just sitting down, and he was trying to get them to stand up. And at one point he went out in the crowd and then just sat in one of the seats and sang half the song in the seat, and he just was kind of looking around, and he's always got this kind of funny face on where he's just amused, and he seems like he's a funny guy. But the band played really well. They had a little bit of sound problems with his harmonica and saxophone, I think, so he kind of got pissed at that, and he didn't really play harmonica for a lot of the show. But I mean, overall, it was just awesome. Both bands, I mean, Hardcore Superstar, they just seemed grateful that they were there. They were like excited to be in America, and they just, even though there was like maybe 150 people there, they played like there were thousands. So it was a really good show. I'm glad I went. I mean, it was a unique show, that it started like 3 hours late, and then it was unique that the place was half empty, but it was perfect, man. You got like almost a private show. I was standing right in front, during Michael Monroe. It was like Sammy Yaffe, the bass player's side.
Sam Yaffa.
Just cool just to watch him, and those guys are having fun, and it was a good show. So that's it, Michael. Thanks for. It's like 2:45 in the morning, and I gotta go to work in like 2 hours, or 2.5 hours. So I gotta go to bed, man.
All right.
So keep an eye on you, man. Till later, bye.
All right, keep an eye on you. You just called the song out. Why don't we listen to a new Michael Monroe song? This is called "Keep Your Eye on You." Thanks, Rock and Roll Pleeb, for the on-scene report.
I can tell you
Hello, this is Michael Monroe from Hanoi Rocks for the Rock and Roll Geek Show. Keep on rocking.
All right, there you go. All right, I got an email from a female listener. The Whitford St. Holmes. Oh, who is this? This is Carlene Knight. Hey, that Whitford St. Holmes album is incredible and could have easily been an old Sammy Hagar album also. He needs their help now, too. LOL. Hey, by the way, if I have a chance to go see them, I would be in the front row if I could. Yeah, a lot of people have sent me, have commented on how great that Whitford St. Holmes is. I don't know anybody who doesn't like that. Great album, great album. She goes on to say, I'd be in the front row if I could. Love it. Yes, there are a couple of us females listening. At least 2. In fact, I've been listening since about 2007, though I missed a few episodes last fall. I've written to you a few times. Thanks for the shows and stay frosty, my friend. Take care, Carlene. Thank you, Carlene. That's very nice of you. There you go. Some female listeners. This is not all dudes. It's not all a big dude fest. All right. One more audio comment. We're an hour and 10 minutes in this thing. Pardon me, I'm bourbon. It's fine, Tecate. Excuse me. All right, I don't know who this is.
Hey, Michael Butler. This is Dustin, the hair metal geek.
Is it Dustin or Justin? I'm not sure. Let me back it up. Let me see if I can decipher it.
Hey, Michael Butler. This is Dustin, the hair metal geek.
Dustin?
I just got done listening to your show a little while ago while on shift. Kind of makes the day a little better.
Yes,
Anyways.
a little bit.
I was listening to the show, and I was listening to, I think it's Tim's list of people that got snubbed for being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Uh-huh.
I can be honest with you. You know, some of those people, I'm thinking, not so much, but, like, as an example, I don't really think Yes should be on there, but that's, you know, to be honest, I'm kind of not a progressive rock guy.
I'm not a progressive rock guy either, but Yes definitely deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. By the way, I got a lot of comments on me being wrong on Kansas, because I think I said they had one hit. I think they might have had, I forgot to mention Carry On Wayward Son. I think I said they had Dust in the Wind, but I stand by my opinion that Kansas does not deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I think Yes does. Even though I'm not a Yes fan, I think they deserve it.
And so I guess that I'm biased.
By the way, there is speaking of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there is a petition out there to, because Kid Rock is supposedly going to be inducting Cheap Trick. He's going to be given the speech to induct Cheap Trick into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, there's a petition out there to ban Kid Rock from inducting Cheap Trick into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So there you go. They don't want Kid Rock to induct him. A lot of people say Dave Grohl. Haven't we had enough of Dave Grohl in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Not a fan of Kid Rock. I don't know why he should be inducting Cheap Trick. Maybe he's a huge Cheap Trick fan. I don't know, but a lot of people say Billy Corgan should be, and a lot of people say Dave Grohl should be. Some people say Joe Perry should be. Some people say Slash should be. I would probably think Joe Perry above anybody else. Definitely not Kid Rock, but I don't really know how I feel about a petition. But there you go. I just thought I would mention that. All right, back to you, Dustin, the hair metal rock and roll geek.
The only one, and then there was a couple others. I think I can't remember. It's been like 2 or 3 hours since I really heard that part.
Yeah,
but anyway,
okay.
Okay, and something else that I wanted to call about a long time ago, and I just never got around to it because I've been busy as shit, and I didn't want to call in the call-in line. Not that it's any different, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, your review of the new Def Leppard album, there are two things that you said that I'm going to just remark on, and one of them is that there were no songs that sounded like anything off the first 3 albums. And actually, this is kind of a two-part thing. I guess it's all the same thing. One, the song Dangerous reminds me of the song Photograph off of Pyromania, which
third album.
admittedly is a polished pop song, so doesn't sound like any of the heavier stuff, but it does sound like that. And secondly, the 2 original guitar players in the band, Steve Clark and Pete Willis, as you well know, are no longer in the band.
I know.
So that's obviously going to affect the overall songwriting for the album. That basically it. I mean, I do agree with the rest of what you said to a reasonable degree. I'm a pretty diehard fan, so obviously I'm like, no, dude, this album's great. But, you know, I'm biased, and I've gotten used to the newer Def Leppard stuff, so that's why, that's why that is what it is. Oh, and a while back, I sent you an email, and I don't know if it took or not, but I think my favorite song for all time for Def Leppard would have to be Die Hard the Hunter, just because it's heavy and got a really kick-ass solo. I mean, it was hard picking that one. So just to be clear, that was a hard decision because so many of us.
Die Hard the Hunter. Let me see if I can find that.
Well, anyway, dude, I'm heading home for the night, and I give you the drive. You have a good day, dude. And stay frosty.
All right, stay frosty, friend. You too can leave me an audio comment. Area code 706-621-ROCK. That's area code 706-621-7625. Die Hard the Hunter is on Pyromania. Let's see if we can listen a little bit of that. Die Hard the Hunter. I'm going to go use the bathroom while this is playing. All right, that one's okay. I guess on Pyromania. Pyromania is when they started getting a little pop. I would say my favorite Def Leppard song is probably either on Through the Night or High and Dry. I know Eric Mortensen, the rock and roll accountant, or the heavy metal accountant, the heavy metal CPA, which, by the way, the Butlers played at a benefit that Eric Mortensen's wife put on for Wonder Dog Rescue, and Eric was there. It was nice seeing him and his wife. He likes Lady Strange, this one. Which is a good one. I like this one. It's one of my favorites, too. I kind of like this one. This is probably one of my favorite Def Leppard tunes. All right, there you go. Enough Def Leppard. Cheap Trick. Speaking of Cheap Trick, their new album is actually on Pledge Music, which I kind of don't get because it's on Big 10 Entertainment or Big One or whatever. That they're on a fairly big label, so I don't know why. And the label I think is putting on this Pledge Music. But if you don't, so here are the levels of pledges, and here's what you can get. So you can just get an access patch when you can download the Bang Crazy. I don't like the title of this album, Bang Zoom Crazy Hello. I just don't like that title. But for $9.99, you can just get a download, a digital download of that on Pledge Music. For $175, you can get the new album on CD, a signed Bang Zoom Crazy Hello poster. That's all you get. Oh, wait a minute. I'm wrong about that. Let me see what else you get on that. You get the new album on CD. You get a signed poster signed by Robin, Rick, Tom, and Dax. You get an album cover art poster. You get a logo T-shirt. You get a hat, and you get 2 guitar picks for $175. For $250, you can get the Bang Zoom Crazy Hello Test Vinyl Pressing. These test pressings are used to approve the final audio masters before vinyl manufacturing. Only 50 will be made. Signed by Robin, Rick, Tom, and Dax. You can get that for $250. For $110, you can get signed and numbered CD signed by Rick, Tom, Robin, and Dax. You can get a logo shirt, a logo hat, and 2 guitar picks for $110. All right. For $15, you can just get the CD. For $25, you can get the poster. 11 by 17 poster printed on matte finish cardstock. For $25, you can get a different poster printed on matte finish cardstock. For $30, you can get the new album on 140-gram vinyl. For $35, you can get a fan-created design t-shirt to be determined later. For $650, you can get a Cheap Trick leather jacket featuring the iconic Cheap Trick logo. Please note, jackets are currently being designed and have an estimated ship date of July 1st, 2016 for $650. For $1,000, you can get a personalized plaque featuring your name commemorating Cheap Trick's 20 million albums sold worldwide. Final design to be determined. Please note, during fulfillment, you will be contacted when it, let's see, what does it say? You will be contacted about shipping insurance costs to ensure the plaque reaches you safely. So $1,000 plus shipping and insurance. Sounds kind of like a ripoff. And for $2,000, you can get Robin Zander's signature guitar, Schecter, signed by Robin Zander. Full specs for the guitar can be found at schecterguitars.com/blah, blah, 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 blah. Okay. There you go. Cheap Trick is doing a pledge music. Everybody's doing pledge music now, including Cheap Trick. So there you go. Good luck to Cheap Trick. I will definitely be doing a track by track of the new Cheap Trick when it comes out. I think we've gone, we being me, I think we've gone long enough on this episode. I've run off the rails. Enough things I've talked about. A lot more I could have talked about. Todd Cunningham sent me a couple songs by this band, The Struts, which I couldn't get into load into my iTunes because of the fuck-ups. I was going to talk about Ace Frehley. New song, which is not new at this point. Vince Neil trashing Coldplay on the Super Bowl. That's how old this what do you call it is? Outline is. Enough stuff that I've gone over. I'm going to close out now with a brand new Peter Wolf song. Peter Wolf from the J. Giles Band, who I'm a huge fan of. He's got a new album coming out called A Cure for Loneliness, coming out on April 8th. Can't wait for that album to come out, but I'm going to play the song that's released now. It's called Wastin' Time. Thank you so much for listening, friends. rockandrollgeek@gmail.com is the email. You can find me at rockandrollgeek.com. Find me on the Facebook, R&R Geek. Find me on the Twitter, R&R Geek. Find me on the Instagram, Rock and Roll Geek. Don't ask. And area code 706-621-ROCK. We will see you soon. We're doing Mad at Dad, I think, on Thursday this week, and probably going to do another Rock and Roll Geek show on Saturday, I think. And that will probably be a track by track of the new Rick Springfield, unless something else comes up. All right, thanks for listening, friends, and thank you so much for the donations. Without your donations, this show will die a horrible, putrid death. Here's brand new Peter Wolf called Wasted Time. We will talk to you Thursday on the Mad at Dad podcast.
Come here, baby. I'm going down slow. Coming up another girl. Nothing to show, and I feel like coming back, and it feels like I'm wasting my time, and I feel like I'm wasting my time, trapped on a sinking ship, tied to the mast. The ocean's deep and the tide change fast. Oh baby, how long can this last? Come on. Oh, mercy me. Minutes turn to hours, hours turn to days. Come here, lie down with me, baby. Something I got to say. It don't seem like nothing, girls, ever going my way, and it feels like I'm wasting my time, and it feels like I'm wasting my time, and it feels like I'm just wasting time. Oh yeah, come on. Wasting time.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.